What if I told you the most powerful negotiation tool you have? It's not your authority, it's not your title, it's not even your leverage. It's about your ability to control the conversation without controlling the person. As executives, we negotiate every single day. We negotiate budget, we negotiate strategies, we negotiate timelines, we negotiate with our boards, our regulators, our vendors, and sometimes with our own leadership. And here's what I learned: negotiation at the executive level is not about winning, it's about alignment. Today, I want to talk to you about the art of negotiation for executives, not just tactics, but the mindset that separates transactional leaders from transformational ones. The most influential component of negotiation is preparation. Before I walk into an executive negotiation, I ask myself three questions: what do I want? What do I need? And what happens if we walk away? The third question is critical. It's your BATNA, your best alternative to negotiated agreement. If you don't know your alternative, you negotiate from weakness. In one strategy planning session, our team was negotiating cybersecurity investments. Finance wanted cost control, IT wanted protection. I realized the negotiation was not about money, it was about risk tolerance. So I framed the conversation around enterprise risk instead of expense. Preparation allowed me to shift the entire negotiation from how much it will cost to how much risk are you willing to absorb. Executive negotiation in terms of risk, impact, and long term value, not just numbers. One of the most powerful negotiation lessons comes from interest based negotiation. Focus on interest, not positions. A position sounds like this: we need 15% budget increase. And interest sounds like this: we need to reduce system vulnerability exposure by 40%. Position create resistance. Interest creates solutions. In my own leadership journey, I've learned that when negotiating become intense, it's usually because people are defending from a position tied to identity, status, or control. When I sense that tension, I ask questions instead of making statements. What outcomes matters most to you, or what concern is driving that request? Those questions shift the dynamic from confrontation to collaborations. Executives who master negotiation don't overpower the room, they expand it. Negotiation is not just a strategy, it's communication. At the executive level, tone carries more weight than content. Silence is not a weakness, it's leverage. In one of our vendor negotiations, I intentionally paused an offer that was presented. I didn't reject it. I didn't counter immediately. I simply allowed silence to do the work. Within seconds, the vendor improved the offer. Why? Because silence creates reflection, and reflection creates movement. Executives must also manage body language, emotional regulations, pacing. If you escalate emotionally, you lose influence. The most effective negotiators project calm authority. They don't rush, they don't react, they respond. Here's what makes negotiation different at a executive level. You will negotiate with the same people again. This is not a one-time transaction. It is a long-term strategic relationship. So the question is not how will I win this deal? The question is how do we preserve trust while advancing our objectives? Executive must balance three elements: results, relationships, and regulations. Your negotiation style become part of your leadership brand. Are you collaborative? Are you rigid? Are you unpredictable? Are you strategic? Board, partners, and stakeholders remembers how to negotiate. In my experience, the most respected executive are firm on standards and on methods. They trade, they don't concede, they anchor strategically, but they listen deeply. They aim to win. They aim for the win-to-win outcome, not because it's good, but because it's obtainable. Agreements outperform forced ones. Through reflection and formative assessments, I've learned that my strength in negotiation composure. I am comfortable in silence. I ask clarifying questions. I avoid escalating emotionally. But I also learned not to over accommodate. Early in my career, I believe compromise means effectiveness. Now I understand that effectiveness is not about giving in, it's about creating value. The art is knowing when to hold firm and when to innovate. Negotiation is not persuasive alone, it's discipline and influence. Let me leave you with this: executive decision is not a negotiation, even the ones that don't look like it. When you negotiate, you prepare the obvious, seek interests, not positions, use silence strategically, protect the relationship, and lead with calm authority. Because the art of negotiation is not about overpowering others, it's about aligning vision, value, and outcome in a way that move the organization forward. And that is executive influence. Thank you.